Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Family Show, the very awesome Family Show, Season 2, Episode 15. And with me today, my guest is Billy Ray Rock. And I gotta say, man, I took a look at your songs on YouTube. Like you got quite a catalog of songs on there. Not just your new songs, but I gotta say, I appreciated your '90s flashback rap songs as well. Those are pretty good, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. I always say without the 90s, there couldn't be a 2000.
That's right. That's right. It took me back to like being in high school and all the songs that came out back then and listened to. And I kind of some of your songs have like some humorous elements in it, so I was kind of enjoying that. Um,
Yeah, awesome.
did you do you like to add humor into your songs to
I do.
help
I
them
do
stick in
because
people's heads more?
I do because when you add humor, man, it keeps people engaged. Um, Sometimes people just, people want to laugh. People want to be happy and hear it. You know,
Right.
and so whenever you could do something, sometimes you get mirrored in all these choruses and fancy interchanges throughout a song, and if you can throw something in there to make them smile, I feel like they're that much more likely to want to a hear it again, but b listen more closely to the next verse and whatnot because they think there might be a smile coming their way again. You know?
Yep. Yep, for sure. And people in here usually make me smile a lot. Got Linda R in here, and Evergreen Homestead, and Van Life with Dina, saying hello to you, popping in here. I kind of am curious. One of your songs really hit me. It was, oh, have it written down here. Um, Don't Be Afraid. The story behind that one, because I could tell there was a bit more meaning behind Don't Be Afraid than some of the other ones. It seemed like to me anyway.
Yeah, it is. Don't Be Afraid, Man was a song I did. Everybody's had somebody that they've dated who judged them really harshly for their past. And I'm a fan of the Dr. Phil show. I think it can be crazy entertaining sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I hear him saying all the time is you can best judge a person by their future, by their past behavior. And I don't think that's always true. I think people do change, people do learn, um, because if that were completely true, and then there'd be a lot of the same stuff going on now that was going on in the 16th century, you know.
Yeah.
So people do learn. And so I think there are a lot of people out there, and especially guys, who go through a lot of adolescent crap, and then they get a good woman. And I've always said that the one thing that'll stop a guy from cheating
Mm-hmm.
is fatigue. When he gets tired of the bullshit game, he gets
Yeah.
tired of rendezvous at the Motel 6. He gets tired of having to make up, deleting text messages.
Yeah.
When he gets tired of that crap, man, he'll be like, man, I just want to watch the game, brother. I don't want to,
Yeah.
So and all of a sudden, the girl ain't fine enough for him to go cheat with her.
Yeah.
So the "Don't Be Afraid" song is really a song of this, guy saying to his woman, "Don't be afraid of my past. I learned my lesson. Let's go."
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. And I enjoy that one. And you got a lot of really good beats on a lot of your songs. And when you're talking about Good Woman, you have the one song, Had a Good Woman, and that one like hooked me right away, right from the beginning. Where did that one come out of the beat and all that? Was it just something that you had in your head running
The
around
beat,
a little bit?
what happened with that song is kind of interesting, man. I did the beat, and look, I've never been the kind of guy that could sing. Like I can sing, but I can't sing. You know, and I'll tell you what I mean by it, brother. You know, uh, you know, there's people out there that can sing. John Legend can sing.
Right,
You know,
right.
Madonna can sing. Britney Spears can sing. Whitney Houston can sing. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So I
Yeah.
can sing, you know. So I can't. If I could sing, I'd be doing them ballads to get the women to drop their panties. But I
Right.
can't sing.
Right.
So so when I did the beat, and I thought I need to do a ballad type song that I can sing to.
Mhm.
And so I did the song. I've heard people describe that song to be like a biker's anthem kind of a ballad type song, you know. Like,
Right. Right.
so I did the song, and I didn't really know which direction to go with it. So I thought I'm just gonna make this song about how things would be different um, if I still had a good woman, you know,
Mhm.
and how my life would have been better have I had a good woman before I did different things.
Right.
Kind of chronicle through that. And so after I did it, I wanted it to remain an alternative rock type joint.
Mhm.
So I went to a good friend of mine, Christopher Holmes, a phenomenal guitar player. And I said, Chris, man, could you put a guitar, a rock, I need you to lace this with a rock solo. And he listened to it. He goes, man, I love this song. So he put his solo on the end, and it just all kind of came together. And then when I did the video, I thought I'd do something that I haven't seen anybody do yet. I put a bunch of my exes on the screen, and I listed out how long I was with them and why we broke up.
That's really interesting because I was wondering who they all were that were on the screen. So that's really cool to know that they're your exes in that video. Because it was a real
There's a
interesting
bunch.
video. I'm like, where? Yeah.
Well, a bunch of them were my exes. Some of them was just grabs off the internet, and I'll let the public figure it out. But there was
Right.
a bunch of them that I did on there. But the one thing that's absolutely true is the reason why the breakups happen, okay, and the length of time I was with them. And about 90% of the names are correct as well.
Right.
But I wanted to just try to give some people some insiders to the journey I've gone through in dating in life, you know.
Mhm.
Now, the only one that's on there that I didn't get enough chance to address was the one that I broke up with because she was a Cowboy fan, Dallas Cowboy fan. Now, that one lasted about a week, but I didn't have a chance to put that one on there.
Yeah.
But there were other things going on with her, but that was the one that topped the bow. I was like, "Look, you're a Cowboy fan too? Oh my God, you got to go."
Now I think you're from the same state as me up in Washington State, but I think you're in maybe not on the western side. You're on the eastern side. It looks like in some of your videos.
Yeah, I am. I'm out here in kind of that Spokane kind of area, sort of. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, by state line, kind of about Lewiston, Idaho, kind of area, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the guys that I know here on YouTube, Matt Rogers, is the morning news anchor out there in Spokane. So, um, yeah, so a little bit. Is that kind of? I'm kind of wondering about music out there. Is there a lot of venues to play out there in Spokane?
Well, in Spokane, the city of Spokane is inundated with rock bands. It's like one on every street corner, literally.
Wow.
It is so bad that the rock bands out here, they're playing for free, they're playing for a sandwich, and the venues take full advantage of the desperation of those bands.
Wow.
And it's really awful, brother, because if you're trying to start a rock band out here, it's hard because the musicians know that there's always a rock band 50 feet away who would like to take them in. Like, say, if you got a guitar player,
Right.
he becomes less. Look, musicians are unreliable, anyways.
Right.
But you got a guitar player, and if he knows there's a band across the street that he can go play for, if he doesn't like the way you guys chew your gum, then the minute that he doesn't like the songs you're playing, he's out.
Yeah.
So then you go grab some other guitar player who's mad at their band for something, and it's this great game of musical chairs amongst the musicians. And it makes it almost impossible to have any kind of continuity. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. And then you don't have that continuity, and it affects your songwriting for the future too, because you don't have that where you can bounce off of each other. Because I'm sure that's a big part of recording and that you've experienced is being able to bounce those ideas off of each other when you're jamming right at the time and not just talk about it too.
And that's the reason why I'm a solo artist and I'm not a band. Because, look, we all went through high school bands. And it was a funny thing for me, man. I went through being in a band in high school. Then it was the same old, crap, nobody could get, same drama, high school, your kids. Then when I got into college, I go, okay, I'm going to take the rock band thing and try again. Try it again, same bullshit. Only difference is you had guys with baby mamas and, these kind of things. And so I tried it again a couple of years back, and lo and behold, same shit. All these years, same unreliable, same personality clashes. And it wasn't with me, it was with each other. I was the lead vocalist.
Right.
Nobody could get anything done. And I just thought, man, I need to be my own act, man. And so that's why I'm a solo artist. I'm supposed to take off come 2021 to South Africa, Johannesburg, some places like that, and do some concert dates. And I'm debating whether or not I want to take a live band to play behind with me or not, man. I'm thinking about just singing a damn, the track,
Right.
just the headache involved,
Yeah, that's one thing about working in a group as a band that's really difficult. And I kind of want to know the song "Sunglasses at Night." Is that kind of also like an homage to Corey Hart's "Sunglasses at Night" song?
It is, but there's a lot of songs I've got on my Bad News album that they're homages in title only.
Mm-hmm.
Like the song "Dance with Me" is an homage to a song that Rick James did off the album "Throwing Down," which is the album that came after Street Songs, which of course has "Super Freak" and "Give It to Me, Baby" and all those songs on there.
Right.
But he had a hit on the second album called "Dance with Me," so that's where that title came from. I got another song on there called "Darling Nikki," which is taken obviously from Prince and the Purple Rain thing. Mm-hmm. So "Sunglasses at Night" title, I lifted. And when I first started doing "Sunglasses at Night," I was thinking about making a remake of it. And I just couldn't figure out a way to do the original justice.
Mm-hmm.
I came up with a couple of different renditions and beats. And then I started researching it. I found out that every pissant rock artist cousin has done a remake to "Sunglasses at Night." So I thought, man, I'm going to use the title, but I'm going to do something completely different. And there you are,
Yeah. And I was going to say "Sunglasses at Night." The beat that you put in there is like a really good like club beat, dancing beat that you put in there, and the effects that you use on your voice are really good for effect. Like it's not overdone; it's like done for effect and for purpose. And so I thought that was really cool listening to it, not just having it on just because.
I appreciate that. Yeah, because I think with the "Sunglasses at Night" song, somebody asked me in an interview the other day, which song was my favorite song, and it's always difficult to pick one, but
right.
I told him probably "Sunglasses at Night" because I think that with "Sunglasses at Night," I was able to accomplish a lot in that song. And I'll tell you what I mean. I basically was able, like right now, R&B, there's no such thing almost as R&B dance music anymore, because if it's a dance song and it's R&B, usually somebody's rapping. Okay. So in effect, it's really a rap song. So I was able to do a dance song where there isn't any rapping, but infuse in it a trap beat,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time has an EDM feel to it. And then to incorporate all the spoken word in, all that stuff about what time is it, and which is of course kind of an homage to the group The Time from Prince and Moore's Day, and I'm sure you picked up on all that. But I was able to get all the talking in there and sing and work in a chorus and work in a third part to a trap beat that has a club banging sound. I mean, it's like there's a lot that happens in that song that I was able to put together. So I was really proud of the way that thing came out, man. To be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, it came out really really well. Um, and you know, um, I the video on the song you did for I need you all screaming. That was a good one
Oh,
as
thank
well. I
you.
thought that was an interesting video. Was that one really fun to film?
A lot of fun, man. I tell you about that video. We're all under self quarantining and lockdown and all that. So the first part of that video, I had to use a green screen. Okay,
Mm.
so I'm doing all the screaming, the crowds, and all that stuff's edited in. But the second part of the song, the on the which is Billy Ray Rock, ain't nothing but a party, Billy Ray Rock, how it changes.
Mm-hmm.
On that part of the video, I went to a friend of mine who has a farm, and so we're trying to get some footage of me singing around some chickens and all those types of things. Now you got to remember, it was like 108 degrees out there, and so I've got the woman with me, I got my son and his buddy with me, and my daughter. Because normally we'd have a camera crew out there, but again, we're under quarantine. You can't really call a camera crew. In effect, you don't know if the camera crew is clean from the coronavirus and all this other kind of bullshit. So it's a family thing. So my son's friend, he's holding a JBL wireless speaker while I'm singing the words. It was very low tech, but I told him you get to be the official sound engineer for Billy Ray Rock.
Yep.
So that was kind of fun, man, filming it. I had the wife out there taking pictures, and I told my son to chase me around with the camera. So I did that, which by the time we finished the little chasing segment, I needed an oxygen tank, for Christ's sake. So there's like a lot of little stuff that happened during that video. There was a lot of fun. Of course, I'm a country boy, so I'm right at home holding chickens and, hanging out next to horses. They didn't have we was in a different part of the place. There's no cow around us. I wanted to do something with the cow. So there's a lot of different stuff I wanted to put in there. We just didn't get it in after the editing happened. But that was a lot of fun to film. You're absolutely right. That was a blast.
Yeah. How did you start out? I mean, doing those music videos and stuff now, like when you were younger, that's kind of something you dream about doing it when you started out doing music. Like what got you into it in the first place? Do you remember some of the first albums you owned and how your journey started there?
You mean what got me into music? Was that the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my brother, my oldest brother, one of my older brothers plays saxophone. And we lived in an old house, and I really didn't give two shits about music at the time. And man, he was always in that back room behind my room in the back of the house, practicing on the saxophone. And it was some of the most annoying shit I ever heard, man. I'm like, oh my God, this dude's gonna drive me crazy. Well, I thought it was the dumbest damn thing ever. And then one day he came to my high school with his band and they performed during lunchtime. And when he got done performing, every pissant girl that I even thought was kind of cute went racing by me to the edge of the stage screaming. And I thought, I got to learn this music shit, man. I've got to figure this stuff out. And I started playing the clarinet, went from there to the sax, to trumpet. I finally found my way back to the bass guitar, started playing that, man. I got better. I was inspired a lot by bands back in the day. I don't know if you remember the Brothers Johnson. They did that song Strawberry 1123. But they had a big hit back in the day called Stump. And the bass player for the Brothers Johnson, a guy named Louis Johnson. A lot of people out there watching don't know who in the hell Louis Johnson is, but just to kind of connect it, Louis Johnson is the bass player. He did the bass. He was the one to perform the bass on Michael Jackson's Billie Jean.
Okay.
Among other things he's done, but that's
that iconic bass line once you start hearing it, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So he did that, and so I worked with I was inspired by him and got better and better at it. And then I started watching people like Rick James and Prince and Mick Jagger and Steven Tyler and those guys. And I just loved how they owned the stage. And I thought, man, I want to do that. you know, and I got, of course, worked on my vocals and you know, just kind of stayed in the game, man, and wound up here.
Yeah, I was gonna say your vocals are pretty good, and I enjoyed um, watching you do it because you in your car you had a couple different videos that you do when you were singing, and you were singing other songs. You did Rebel Yell. That's one of the ones I used to do karaoke.
Oh, you
So
said it?
yeah, I was kind of impressed with how you did it.
Oh,
You
thank
did
you,
it quite
brother.
well, man.
I don't think anybody was paying any attention to those, man. I was scrolling around, and my manager said, "You should post it." Because I get people on my DMs, they ask me, "Can I sing?" And I tell them, "I can sing. I can't
Mhm.
sing. I can
Right.
sing." And so, you know, with all this technology out there, I think there's some questions as to whether or not. There's one thing I like about the "Had a Good Woman" song. It's a pure song. There are no effects anywhere on the vocals or any of that. It just kind of is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, but yeah, no, I'm glad you enjoyed that. I don't think anybody even paid attention to that. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's one of the things that I like to do is kind of go and really research people when I have them on and talk to them because
I
I like to
appreciate
find little interesting things like that. And let's see here, we got oh, the other one of your other songs that you did on there, your basketball back in the day song, and it reminded me of when I was younger. Like my favorite team when I was younger, because I grew up in Utah for a while, was the Jazz, and that was back when it was Karl Malone and John Stockton. So was there people back in the day when you're younger that you just remember watching them play all the time?
Well, I started off um, years ago being like a big, you know, Kareem fan, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, I kept hearing about this guy that's dunking balls and flying through the air. And I thought it's just a bunch of nonsense. And one day I was watching Chicago Bulls game, and
Yeah.
I was introduced to Michael Jordan, and I was like, "Oh my God!" But I mean, before him, I was a big Dr. J fan, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there'd never be another Dr. J until I saw Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And I really don't. I think the closest thing to Michael Jordan that I've seen from an overall game is probably Kobe Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in terms of electricity on the court, man, I don't know if it gets any more exciting than Steph Curry. I mean,
Right.
those threes from the parking lot, you know, it's just,
Yeah.
you know, it'll get you going, brother. But
Yeah.
yeah, those are some of my favorites, though. Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah. It's been really real interesting because you got so many different interests in your songs that you do. And when I used to do karaoke and I hosted it a couple times, there was a couple different songs they played when the bar closed. But your bar closing song, a song, I have to say, is one of their bar closing songs that I've heard for sure.
What other bar closing song? What? I'm sorry.
The bar closing song that you made
Uh huh.
is one of the more enjoyable ones that I've heard before.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Bar closing. I love that song, man. I um I just love that song. It's one of those songs. Some of the songs that I make, even for me, having to be in the person who created, they get a little monotonous to hear over and over. I kind of go, "Oh
Yeah.
man, God, I heard this song again." I never get sick of the chorus, the bar closing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not time to get loud. It's time for you to get out. It's
Yeah.
time to pay your tab. I never get sick of hearing that song. It's one of what people around me, you know, the wife, lot, you know, love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of their favorite songs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Oh, he popped out. Hopefully he pops back in here. Thank you everybody for being in here though that has been here so far. I really do appreciate it. And he also has a YouTube channel as well. I think I put it in the links. If I didn't, I'm gonna put the rest of the links here in the chat. Um, there's those links, and then we got a couple more for you. SoundCloud, LinkedIn. Yeah, there we go. Those in chat for you guys. There we go.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm back in there. Yeah, but yeah, the bar closing one, like you were saying, was one of your more favorite ones. And I was gonna say that chorus you do, and when you gotta pay for all the shots you had, that one got me too right there. The chorus for that one for sure.
Drunk.
Yeah.
Your wait and your wait staff, because they got family too.
Yeah. That's one of the. I would always add something like that in when I would do karaoke to tip your karaoke host and your waitress and all that stuff, because for the same reason. And the Get the Funk music video looked like you made reference to Rick James in there, and then also James Brown in there too. Is that two people that, when you talk about Rick James and James Brown, kind of probably influenced, like maybe your persona on stage almost? It seems like you took a little bit of that.
Well, James Brown, I like the funky music he made. In terms of him on stage, it was way before my time,
Mm-hmm.
So I really couldn't appreciate as much how he electrified audiences, things like that, other than just black and white film that I've seen.
Right.
But James Brown, I was more the grit funk. He did a song called "Gonna Have a Funky Good Time, Gonna Take It Higher," and there's a trombone solo on that that's just second to none, man. It's just woo. And so that's where I get. That's what I like about him. But some of these other people I mentioned in the song had a more immediate impact, Confunction and Ohio Players and Roger and Zap. A lot of those guys kind of helped mold. And the thing is that funk music, I said on my post the other day, by the way, I said, you can't say the word funk without the letters F-U-N. Because it's fun,
Yeah.
And people want to have fun when they listen to music, Now, sometimes they want to just lay on the couch and be bummed out and cry, But more to oftentimes than that, people want something that's uplifting. They want to have that go-to fun music. Yeah. And the funny thing about R&B music as it's progressed through the years, man, whenever you hear a song as R&B anymore, it's either a slow song trying to get the girl to get undressed and get nasty, or it's a slow song about somebody that left somebody and they're crying about it.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day when they did R&B music, it was fun R&B. Barry White, let the music play. I want to dance the night away. I mean, just fun. Shining for you to see. I mean, it's just fun music. And so not a lot of R&B dance songs out there.
Right.
And so I thought when I did Get the Funk, along with Sexy People Around Me is another one, that I wanted people to be able to dance and sing. I love my rappers. I've rapped before. I was a 90s rapper. I got nothing against it, but I think that people need different things too.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like anymore, whenever there's a good dance song on, somebody's rapping to it.
Right. Yeah, it's never like you're saying. It's always rapping to it. It's never really the rock song. Because I seen you put like the twist from back in the day in one of your videos. The people dancing to the twist of black and white. So kind of going back harking back to those days.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of this stuff is songs I want to do to kind of give people some insight to what I want the music scene to have more of. And that song Can't Stop. That's why, you see me with the wig on and the whole thing. And, I'm trying to get people, just remind people that, man, this should be fun, man.
Yeah.
That song Can't Stop is a love song, for Christ's sake. I can't stop, won't stop. We should be together, baby, because I miss ya. I mean, that's a love song.
Yeah.
But, I got the baritone sax, so it's an upbeat, fun dance R&B song, and I just think that we need more of that. And so
it's something that we're missing a lot of these days. Is just the music and stuff that's about having a good time. Even rock songs are the same. Lately, like back in the '80s, look at how many songs that were just silly, let's go have fun songs back in the '80s and stuff, and then
absolutely
went all serious and stuff as well. So
yeah.
And I think after all this is going on right now, I think that's the kind of music that people are going to want to hear. Like nobody's going to want to hear that super serious music. Like we just super serious time.
I agree. They've had enough of it, man. Sitting in the side and crying and booing, and it's I've always believed that people want to get to happy, man. They want to be. My oldest brother, not the saxophone player, because he's still alive and loving life. But my brother George Jr., when he passed away, I gave him. I did a song about it, and I passed the CD around all family members at the funeral. And so I passed around all the family members. And what I found out was that nobody listened to it. I'd ask family members, "Did you hear that song I did about our brother?" And they go, "No, I haven't had a chance." And nobody listened to it. And I couldn't figure it out. It took a while before I figured out that people won't listen to it because when they play it, it reminds them of the funeral. And nobody wants to feel down. That's why cemeteries are so not visited as often as people like to think they are.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to go somewhere and sit and cry.
Yeah.
They just don't, They want to smile and be happy. And truth be told, a lot of those people that are passed away would want them to be happy,
Yeah, for sure.
And so I agree. When you get through this coronavirus thing, people are going to want upbeat. They're going to want something to pep them up and give them some bounce in their step. They're not really going to be interested in sitting up boo-hooing.
Yeah, for sure. And if you want to find that kind of stuff, you can go on Instagram, Billy Ray Rock 1 on there, and Billy Ray Rock 1 on Twitter and SoundCloud and LinkedIn. The number 1, and it's spelled out ONE on Facebook, Billy Rock 1, and BillyRayRock.com. And you're also on YouTube as well, Billy Ray Rock. You can look at all those videos that I've been talking about on there. Do you have any? You're talking about South Africa. Are you going to plan on touring everywhere else too?
I am. Yeah, we're going to do some stuff here domestically. We're just trying to make sure that we get paired into the right venues. I'm a multi-genre artist, and so I've got to be careful about, and my team's got to be careful about what the situation they put me into, because I can go in and open for Lenny Kravitz, but I can also go in and open for Drake. I mean, I could open for so it becomes a question of which song I have and how popular it is at the time. And that'll kind of dictate the venues. It'll dictate the tour schedule, and it'll kind of tell me which direction I'm going to go.
Awesome. Well, when you do get out on tour and you figure it out, I want to have you back on, and we can kind of talk about that and see where you're going to be at on tour, and hopefully I can catch you someplace close by. That'd be
absolutely. What city are you in, by the way?
I'm in Tacoma.
Tacoma. Oh yeah, you're in the Northwest with me. All right, right on.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll definitely come check you out for sure. But stick with me. Say goodbye to these guys. Till tomorrow, guys. stop waiting for life to happen and make life happen. Later, guys.